Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education so that you can create your ultimate destiny. We've got a brand new week in front of us. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited this week because I'm going to be sharing some of the top lessons that I've learned over the last 20 years from personal mentors of mine. Before I do that, though, let's start with a quote, and I'm going to pick out the mentor that I want to highlight today, T. Harv Eker. And his quote is that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And as most of you have heard me say many, many times, we're living in two different worlds. You've got your inner world in your mind, and you've got your outer world, and one absolutely reflects the other. So the key for us is to dig inside and to unleash our true potential. So over the coming months, a couple of months actually to be exact, I'm going to be highlighting personal mentors of mine, individuals that I have worked with personally, individuals that I respect, individuals that I've learned from, individuals that have helped me create lasting changes in my life over the last 20 years. And so these are going to be people like Robert Stuberg, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Graziosi, T. Harv Eker, many, many, many others. And I've been very, very fortunate to learn from a lot of mentors in my life because of the businesses I've had and things like that. But we're going to start today with T. Harv Eker, because one of the things I love, T. Harv, Harv will say things like, people are so focused on money. They're focused on money, and what they don't realize is that money is a result. That's not what you need to focus on. We need to stop chasing the results and start focusing on what cause and create the results. And this is obviously our thinking. This is our mindset. It's our actions and our feelings, because our thoughts are going to create feelings, which will create actions, which determine our results, which are money, success, relationships, communication. And what I've learned from Harv is that if you can begin to think like a millionaire, that, his best-selling book, New York Times best-selling book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, caught my attention so much because for so many years I was doing financial education, and I realized that the success was coming from individuals that got their inner game in line, that they got their mindset right. Because if you can think like a millionaire, if you can think successfully, abundantly, then you can create a lot of lasting benefits in your life, not just your business, not just in your finances, but in your personal life as well. So I want to talk a little bit about some teachings that he has in his book, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. In the second half of that book, what he does is he takes you through a series of ways that you can shift your mindset and the way you think in order to create a more abundant and success-minded way of thinking. Because here's the bottom line. Rich and successful people think differently than poor and middle class. He covers in the second half of his book 17 wealth files, which are ways that rich and successful people think and act, and how they're different in their mindset from poor and middle class. But here's what I want to do. Let me stop for just a second, because I know what a few of you are thinking. Harv does make a specific point, and I'm going to do the same thing. I want to clarify a couple of things before I cover these principles. The first is that I'm not trying to cast judgment on poor people or middle class. This isn't about that. This is the fact that if you want to have abundance in your life, abundance isn't picky choosy. Abundance is going to happen in every area of your life. And when we talk about rich or poor, we're talking about their mentality. We're talking about the way they think. These wealth files, or how they're different in the way they think. And of course, yes, we're going to be generalizing these principles a bit. We're generalizing them overall because we want you to get the point. We want you to learn, something from them. And we're using extreme examples, right? Rich and poor. And I realize there's a lot of in between, but focus on the most important thing here, which is to clarify the way you think and your mindset and your filter on life. Because some of these principles, they're going to relate to your habits and your actions, not just your mindset. But remember, your habits and actions are a result of your mindset. So sometimes you can work backwards from your habits to create different thoughts and feelings. And finally, the most important thing I want to emphasize before I go through these is that I want you to put aside trying to figure out whether these are right or wrong. Because let's be honest, I had several mentors of mine actually tell me this over time, is that the way you think has gotten you where you are today. And these are thoughts and teachings and strategies that come from very, very successful people. So just give the opportunity to truly understand and dig in and internalize some of these thoughts. And I think you'll be surprised, because the bottom line is rich people definitely think differently about most things in life. They think differently about money and wealth and themselves and their own confidence and self-esteem and other people, pretty much everything in their life. And in return, this change in thinking creates and it sustains and attracts wealth in every one of those areas. So I want you to, as I go through these, what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to go through these 17 wealth files out of the book, and then I'm going to break them down later in future episodes during the week. But for now, I want to just take you through these briefly. I want you to think about them. I want you to internalize them. I want you to identify ones that you struggle with. And I promise that if you really spend some time and think about these, that you're going to see that there are some successful, positive, productive ways to change the way you're thinking. And I think that these principles will help you in a big, big way. So here we go. I'm going to go through these 17. Listen to how we go through these. I'm trying not to stop too much, even though I love to dig into these. But let's go ahead and start. So wealth file number 1. Rich people believe I create my life, and poor people believe life happens to me. Rich people believe I create my life, and poor people believe life happens to me. Wealth file number 2. Rich people play the money game to win. People play the money game not to lose. How many of us, when we think about things, we're thinking about what's the downside rather than what it's going to take to win, right? Wealth file number 3. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. The bottom line is, are you committed to creating success and abundance, or do you just want it really bad? Big difference. Wealth file number 4, rich people think big, poor people think small. Rich people think big, poor people think small. And wealth file number 5, rich people focus on opportunities, and poor people focus on obstacles. This is back to something I've talked a lot about. What are you focused on, the problems or the solutions, the opportunities or the obstacles? Wealth file number 6. Rich people admire other rich and successful people, and poor people resent rich and successful people. If you truly have an abundant mindset, what you realize is that abundance is abundance. And rather than being jealous or resentful of rich and successful people, rich people admire other rich and successful people. That's a key way to think. Wealth file number 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people, and poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Who is it in your close circle of influence right now? Who is it that you're surrounding yourself with? Rich people associate with positive, successful people, period. Number 8, wealth file number 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people think negatively about selling and promoting. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a business and you have a talent, do you value promoting yourself and your value because you see that it can help the world? Or do you have that poor mindset where you think negatively about selling and promoting? That's an important one. Wealth file number 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems, and poor people are smaller than their problems. Do you ask for your problems to get smaller, or do you ask to become bigger than your problems? Because rich people are bigger than their problems. Wealth file number 10. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. Do you feel like you always have to give, and you feel bad taking, you feel bad receiving? I meant to say receiving. Because rich people are excellent receivers. They know there's abundance. Wealth file number 11. Rich people choose to get paid on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time. How many of us have that worker mentality where we want to get paid on our time? And how many of us think like rich, successful, abundant thinking? We want to get paid on our results. Wealth file number 12. Rich people think both. Poor people think either or. This is a scarcity mindset. Rich people think both. Win-win. Poor people think either or. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. I can have this or I can have that. Wealth file number 13. Rich people focus on their net worth, and poor people focus on their working income. When was the last time you actually even calculated your net worth? Or do you just try to calculate how much you're going to make at the end of the week? Because poor people focus on their working income, and rich people focus on their net worth, growing their wealth. Wealth file number 14. Rich people manage their money well, and poor people mismanage their money well. They have more month at the end of the money rather than more money at the end of the month. Have you ever noticed how rich and successful people are so particular about the dollars and cents of everything? And you're like, they don't need to do that because they have money. No, or maybe they have money because they do that. Wealth file number 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them, and poor people work hard for their money. Rich people have money work hard for them, and poor people work hard for their money. We spend most of our lives working hard for money, but you've got to make that transition to where you start having money work hard for you and develop that passive residual income. Wealth file number 16, rich people act in spite of their fear. Poor people let fear stop them. Rich people still have fear. We all have fear. They just act in spite of their fear. Poor people let fear stop them. And wealth file number 17, this is the last one. Rich people constantly learn and grow, and poor people think they already know. How many of us know those individuals that are know-it-alls, and they're not anywhere they need to be, right? Rich people constantly learn and grow, and poor people think they already know. So do me a favor, go back through these 17 wealth files. We're going to cover them more in depth and kind of dig into some patterns and actions and things later. But I want you to think about and ponder and decide which of these you currently need to work on, or which ones maybe were light bulbs that went on and you didn't realize you were doing. I can promise you this. If you really truly understand and think through the mindset of abundant, successful, happy, fulfilled people, you're going to uncover some amazing benefits, changes, strategies that are going to help you become the best version of yourself and live your best life. Now, I want you to do me a favor. I have one more favor I want to ask you. We're going to go back through these principles throughout the week. So I'd like you to do me a favor and take this podcast, this episode, and share it with at least one person you feel will benefit from it. If you're willing to do that, if you share it on social media, for example, tag me in the post so I can see who's sharing it and teaching and learning these principles. Just go ahead and tag myself, George Wright III, or the Daily Mastermind on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And when you do that, I've got a half dozen copies. I've got 6 copies of hard copies of The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind book by Harv Eker. They're personally signed by Harv. I'm going to take these 6 copies. I'm going to give them away at the end of the week. I'm going to look and see who does this so I can see who's sharing and tagging this particular podcast episode. And I'll look forward to giving away these books. It's something I can do for you as well. So listen, thank you for listening. I look forward to helping you. I look forward to getting your feedback. We're going to talk some more about this over the week. But for now, I want you to realize that it is never too late to start living and acting and dreaming your best life. My name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have an amazing day.